Perfect location. I've taken a lot of inputs from it.
My esteemed brother and sister judges, distinguished former judges, Shri Kamal Trivedi, Learned Advocate General, Mrs. Manisha Laukumar, Learned Government Pleader, Mr. Mitish Amin, Learned Public Prosecutor, Mr. Devang Vyas, Learned Additional Solicitor General of India, Learned Central and State Law Officers, Mr. A.H. Zala, Chairman, Gujarat State Bar Council and members of the State Bar Council, Mr. Prithviraj Singhji Jadeja, President, Mr. Hardik Brahmabhat, Secretary, and all other office members, office bearers and members of the Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, learned registrars and other members of the Registry of the High Court, distinguished senior advocates, learned members of the bar, family members of late Shri KRISHNAKANT, GULABCHAND, VAKHARIA, and late Shri KRISHNACHANDRA, CHANDULAL, PATEL, ladies and gentlemen. We have assembled here today to mourn the sad demise of Shri KRISHNAKANT, GULABCHAND, VAKHARIA, learned senior advocate, and Shri KRISHNACHANDRA, CHANDULAL, PATEL, learned advocate having long-standing practice in this court, by recounting their personalities, qualities, achievements, and contributions. Although I was not fortunate enough to interact with these learned advocates, I have received inputs about them from my esteemed colleagues, senior members of the bar, and the registry, which I wish to share. Shri KRISHNAKANT Gulabchand VAKHARIA was born on 16 September 1930 at Babra village in Amreli district in a middle-class family. He passed his schooling at Bagsara in Amreli district and did his further studies at Junagadh. By his own efforts and dedication, Shri VAKHARIA graduated in arts. He passed his LLB from Shri Sir L.A. Shah Law College, Ahmedabad. He was enrolled as an advocate on 9th August 1954 and started legal practice in August 1954 before erstwhile Saurashtra High Court and Circuit Bench of Bombay High Court at Rajkot. Being interested in socialistic ideology, he was associated with Praja Socialist Party under the leadership of Shri Jayaprakash Narayan, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, and Shri Ashok Mehta till 1970, when it merged in the Congress. He was instrumental in Congress winning in 1971 Gujarat State Assembly elections. Due to lack of interest in politics, he continued his legal practice before Gujarat High Court after formation of Gujarat State in 1960 by shifting to Ahmedabad. Shri VAKHARIA's admirable reputation as an eminent lawyer enabled him to conduct several important cases involving interpretation of Constitution and jurisprudence. He was an elected member of Bar Council of Gujarat for 15 years and a member of Bar Council of India for 2 terms, covering a period of 10 years. He was also elected as Managing Trustee of Bar Council of India Trust and was an editor of Indian Advocate magazine published by Bar Council of India. Shri VAKHARIA, along with Dr. Madhav Menon, the then professor of Jain University, New Delhi, were instrumental in establishing National Law University of India at Bangalore, which has now acquired worldwide reputation. He did not take up the constitutional assignment of judgeship in August 1971, offered by the then Chief Justice Shri P.N. Bhagwati of Gujarat High Court, as he was more inclined towards advocacy. During his long-standing reputation as a lawyer for 55 years, Shri VAKHARIA organized first Gujarat State Lawyers Conference which was inaugurated by the then Chief Justice, Justice Subrao, and presided over by the then Attorney General, Shri M.C. Setilwad. Shri Vakharia conducted several seminars, workshops, and legal education program for the benefit of lawyers. Shri Vakharia also participated in a number of international law conferences and seminars held in Manila, that is Philippines, in 1978, Gold Coast in Australia 1980, Seoul, South Korea in 1986, Cairo, Egypt in 1992, and San Francisco in USA in 2000. Shri Vakharia also joined a delegation of 10 lawyers of Bar Council of India to China Law Society in 1981, where he met lawyers, trade union leaders, and politicians of China and authored a booklet on China visit. Shri Vakharia visited West Berlin in 1980 and had an occasion to see Berlin Wall separating East and West Berlin by electric fencing. In 1989, Shri Vakharia, as a guest at the invitation of East Germany government, participated in a seminar on our first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru on his centenary year held at famous Humboldt University. Shri Vakharia, along with the then Chief Minister Shri Amar Singh Bhai Chaudhary and the then Union Minister for Home Shri Yogendra Makhwana, convened first Gujarati conference establishing Vishwa Gujarati Samaj, in which Shri Hitendra Bhai Desai, ex-Chief Minister of Gujarat, was selected as its first president, and upon his death, Shri Vakharia was elected as president of Vishwa Gujarati Samaj in 1994. He held that post for 5 times for a period of 26 years. In his capacity as president, Shri Vakharia organized World Gujarati conferences at Ahmedabad, Bombay, and Vadodara, attracting large number of Gujaratis living in India and abroad. This way, he could mobilize Gujarati people settled in more than 70 countries of the world and could bring resources to serve people belonging to rural areas of Gujarat. He also established Shri Kanjibai Desai Gujarat Pratibha Award and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Vishwa Pratibha Award to be awarded to deserving meritorious persons selected by a committee of independent persons. He also conducted medical camps where doctors and surgeons settled in USA and other parts of the world used to give expert services to the people of Gujarat. He also played an important role in preserving and promoting Gujarati and Indian culture amongst Gujaratis settled worldwide. Shri Vakharia was appointed as Chairman, Gujarat Housing Board, Director, Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation, Director, National Textile Corporation of India, Gujarat, Member, Legal Aid and Advisory Board, and Member, High Power Committee on Cooperative Law by Government of Gujarat. He also worked as President, Indian National Trade Union Congress, Gujarat branch for 10 years, fighting the causes of unorganized labor and guided trade union movement on Gandhian principles, maintaining industrial peace without compromising workers' interest. He was appointed as a senior standing counsel for Government of India in Gujarat High Court for a period of 10 years and conducted important cases of transfer of High Court judges, constitutional cases, excise and customs cases, etc., etc. Prominent among them is a judgment delivered on 17th July 1984, reported in 1984 to GLR 1244 in the case of Amreli District Cooperative versus State of Gujarat, challenging the amendments brought to Gujarat Cooperative Societies Act 1961. Shri Vakharia was designated as senior advocate on 5th October 1991. He was conferred with number of prestigious recognitions, namely Son of Soil Award by Intellectual Society of India, Glory of Gujarat Award by Indian Council of Social Welfare, and honorary membership at Wilshire Bar Association, Los Angeles, etc. Apart from this, he was associated with large number of social, educational, and charitable organizations for serving the humanity. In the aftermath of devastating earthquake that trembled Kutch in 2001, Shri Vakharia took initiative in opening temporary hospitals in Ahmedabad for providing expert medical treatment to quake-affected victims, built primary and high school buildings, and constructed several houses at Bhuj, and rehabilitated an entire village of Majot in Jodia Taluk, adjoining Kutch district, apart from providing relief materials to various victims of earthquake. He was a founder trustee of Divya Jyot Ayurvedic Research Foundation, running an Ayurvedic hospital in Ahmedabad. He also spent huge funds for rendering various humanitarian services at his native town, Baghsara, through different NGOs. He also did environmental services by constructing check dam to revive the dried river at his native place at Baghsara. Shri VAKHARIA was a prolific writer for many magazines and newspapers on varied subjects. Apart from his manifold activities and contributions in politics, law, social, and cultural activities, Shri VAKHARIA's chamber has brought as many as 5 judges to this High Court, namely Justice R.A. Mehta, Justice Jayant Patel, both former acting Chief Justices of this court, Justice R.H. Shukla and Justice Harsha Devani, both former judges of this court, and Justice G.R. Udvani, also a former judge of this court, who died of COVID while in service. As you all know, our present Solicitor General of India, Shri Tushar Mehta, is also from the chamber of Shri KRISHNAKANT VAKHARIA. I get to know that during his 55 years of practice as a lawyer, he remained as an intellectual and constitutional lawyer, having a clean public image. Shri KRISHNAKANT VAKHARIA passed away on 22nd January 2023 at the age of 92 after a brief illness. He is survived by his wife, Srimati Leela Ben KRISHNAKANT VAKHARIA, and 3 children, namely Mrs. Avani Shailesh Mehta, Mrs. Bindu Asim Thakkar, Mr. Mehul K. VAKHARIA, while Mrs. Avani Mehta and Mr. Mehul VAKHARIA are practicing advocates in this court. Mrs. Bindu Asim Thakkar is a practicing advocate on sales tax side. Shri Krishnachandra CHANDULAL PATEL was born on 2nd November 1928 at Gondal, a small town in Saurashtra, 36 kilometers from Gujarat, in Rajkot. He did his schooling at Gondal and graduated in BCom from HL College in 1950 at Ahmedabad. He passed his LLB from Sir L.A. Shah Law College, Ahmedabad in 1952. His father, late Shri C.B. Patel, was a Minister of Education in Gondal State, which is one of the 8 first-class princely states of Kathiawar Agency, Bombay Presidency in India for 32 years, and has compiled Bhagwat Go Mandal, an encyclopedia in Gujarati language. He was enrolled as an advocate on 11 September 1952, and on the same day he started practicing with Messrs. J.S. Parikh and Company, an advocate firm at Bhavnagar. From 1953 to 1968, he continued his practice at Rajkot, and his advocacy extended in the High Court of Saurashtra and High Court of Mumbai at Rajkot bench. He practiced mainly on civil, industrial, revenue, and taxation sides. In 1968, he shifted to Ahmedabad for continuing his practice in the High Court of Gujarat at Ahmedabad on taxation side. He was a junior lawyer in the chamber of late Justice B.K. Mehta during 1952-1960. Mr. K.C. Patel was a standing counsel for Imperial Bank of India, State Finance Corporation of Saurashtra, Bombay and Gujarat, LIC of India, Rajkot Division, State Bank of Saurashtra, many cooperative banks and limited companies, and Shri K.C. Patel was appointed as a special government pleader for Saurashtra region before Revenue Tribunal at Rajkot for 11 years. Some of the famous cases conducted by him include Gujarat Sarabai Chemicals matter, reported in 2002, 257 ITR 355. In this case, levy of concealment penalty under section 271(1)(c) of the Income Tax Act 1961 was analyzed threadbare, and its final hearing was held on day-to-day basis, which lasted for a month. In another judgment delivered on 3rd August 1977, reported in 113 ITR 22 Gujarat in the matter of Shri P.V. Joshi versus Commissioner of Income Tax, initiation of jurisdiction for reopening of proceedings under Income Tax Act 1961 was thoroughly examined. The leading decision was accepted by CBDT by not challenging the same at Honorable Supreme Court. Next is the decision rendered on 24 September 1971 in the case between Commissioner of Income Tax and Mohan Bhai Pama Bhai, in which interpretation of section 2 subsection 47 for definition of transfer for the purpose of taxation of value of goodwill of a firm on retirement of a partner was decided And this judgment has been reported in 91 ITR 393 Gujarat. His contribution to this High Court is worth mentioning. Two former judges, namely Justice D.A. Mehta and Justice K.A. Puch, were practicing lawyers in the chamber of Sri K.C. Patel. My esteemed brother, Justice VAKHARIA, is also from the chamber of Sri K.C. Patel. Advocacy of Sri K.C. Patel had extended over a period of 68 years on civil, revenue, and on taxation sides. And thereafter, he was leading a retired life. Sri K.C. Patel died of COVID-19 in a private hospital in Ahmedabad on 28th October 2022 at the age of 1994. He is survived by his wife, Srimati Sarala KRISHNACHANDRA Patel, a housewife, and two sons, namely Rajul K. Patel, a designated senior advocate practicing since last 38 years, and Mr. Mehul K. Patel, who is also a practicing advocate since last 32 years and youngest president of ITAT Bar Association, Ahmedabad. His two grandsons, namely Mr. Darshan and Mr. Parth, are the third generation practicing lawyers. Passing away of Sri KRISHNAKANT, GULABCHAND, VAKHARIA and Sri KRISHNACHANDRA CHANDULAL Patel have caused immense loss to their family, friends, and entire legal fraternity. On their death, we have lost not only two eminent lawyers, but also two great human beings. I, on my own behalf, and on behalf of all my sister and brother judges, express heartfelt condolences to the members of the bereaved family. May the Almighty give them strength to bear the great loss and overcome the grief. May the departed souls rest in eternal peace.
My lords, on behalf of the bar and the legal profession in the state, I fully associate myself with the sentiments expressed by my Lord Honorable the Chief Justice on the said demise of two of our esteemed senior colleagues and the stalwarts of the bar, Shri KRISHNAKANT GULABCHAND VAKHARIA and Shri KRISHNACHANDRA CHANDULAL Patel. Lord Buddha had once said, I quote, "Fame is vapor and popularity is an accident, and both are momentary, and only one thing endures, that is the character," unquote. I must say that the character was one of the sterling qualities that both late Shri K.G. Vakharia and late Shri K.C. Patel possessed. Late Shri K.G. Vakharia, and respectfully called Vakharia Sahib, was born on 16 September 1930 in his maternal village Babra in district Amreli. His father was the Diwan of state of Patli and staying in a village Baksara, where there were no educational facilities, being a remote place. In view of this, Shri KRISHNAKANT Bhai shifted to Viramgam and obtained his rudimentary education, and thereafter shifted to Junagadh to join Bahauddin College for doing graduation in arts. William Wordsworth had once said, "Child is the father of man." It means that child shows in his childhood itself what kind of a man he is destined to be in future. Late Shri KRISHNAKANT Bhai showed in his early career that he was going to be a great personality in whatever field he would choose. During his student days, under the influence of independence movement, he organized student movement in the erstwhile state of Saurashtra. He opposed the move of Diwan of state of Junagadh in joining Pakistan in the year 1947 by organizing an association called Arzi Hukumat. As a result whereof, Diwan was compelled to shift to Pakistan. He had also remained as an active member of Praja Socialist Party, under whose banner he had also won the seat in second Lok Sabha election. After completing graduation in arts, Shri KRISHNAKANT Bhai shifted to Ahmedabad for studying law from Sir Elisha Law College and was enrolled as an advocate on 9th August 1954. He was appearing before the erstwhile Saurashtra High Court and Circuit Bench of Bombay High Court at Rajkot. In the year 1960, as a result of bifurcation of bilingual state of Bombay, the High Court of Gujarat came into existence and late Shri KRISHNAKANT Bhai shifted in Ahmedabad. Very soon, he established himself as a formidable lawyer with lucrative practice in practically all the subjects of law, including constitutional law, civil and criminal laws, service law, laws relating to panchayats, cooperative societies, and agricultural produce market committees. Late Shri Vakharia was designated as a senior advocate on 5th October 1991. During his brilliant career at the bar, he also held prestigious position of a standing counsel of the government of India in this honorable court for a period of 10 years. Though the method of advocacy of late Sri Krishnakant was not uniform, his preparation of cases was consistently splendid. With detailed notes, nobody knew his judges better than he knew. But usually he was direct, candid, and outspoken. He won his cases by sheer passion and intensity, hard work, and by the energy of his mind. Whatever be the manner of his argument, the client's interest was for him the main concern. As was referred to by my lord, the office of late Sri Krishnakant has brought several honorable judges of this honorable court, like Honorable Mr. Justice R.A. Mehta, Honorable Mr. Justice Jayant Patel, Honorable Ms. Justice Harsha Devani, Honorable Mr. Justice G.R. Udwani, and Honorable Mr. Justice Rajesh S. Shukla. These apart, many distinguished and successful lawyers of today had taken the initial lessons and guidance from late Sri Krishnakant, and who are Senior Advocate in our Learned Solicitor General Sri Tushar Bhai Mehta, Senior Advocate Sri Percy Kavina, Sri Asim Pandya, Sri Naveen Pava, and Sri Devang Vyas, who is presently the Additional Solicitor General of India. Apart from being active in politics to begin with, followed by law practice, late Sri VAKHARIA was also engaged in various academic and philanthropic activities. He was elected member of the Bar Council of Gujarat for 15 years and Bar Council of India for 2 terms, covering the period of 10 years. In the Bar Council of India, he was elected as the managing trustee of Bar Council of India Trust, wherein he had organized many seminars, workshops, and continued legal education programs for lawyers. In the same capacity, he was also instrumental in establishing a National Law School of Indian University at Bengaluru. He was also elected as editor of the magazine called Indian Advocate, published by the Bar Council of India. During his engagement with the Bar Council of Gujarat and the Bar Council of India, late Sri VAKHARIA actively participated in various international law conferences under the leadership of the Honorable Chief Justice of India, held in Manila in Philippines in 1978, Gold Coast in Australia in 1980, China in 1981, Seoul in South Korea in 1986, Cairo in Egypt in 1992, and at San Francisco in USA in 2000. In the year 1989, East Germany government had invited Sri VAKHARIA to participate in a seminar to be held in the honor of centenary year of the Indian first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru at famous Humboldt University. As a guest of the East Germany government, when Sri VAKHARIA visited the said country, he made a point to first visit a famous wall separating West Germany, being a democratic country having relations with USA, UK, France, and other democratic countries, from East Germany, dominated by communist system and friendly with Soviet Asia. During the course of discussion in the said seminar, Sri VAKHARIA joined the intense feeling of the people at large for unification of East and West Germany with democratic countries at the helm of the affairs. Curiously, within 3 months after Sri VAKHARIA's visit to East Germany, people revolted, and both East and West Germany were united by demolishing the wall separating East and West Germany. In the first week of September 1989, late Sri Krishnakant had become a great force in organizing first World Gujarati Conference at Ahmedabad, along with the former Chief Minister Sri Amar Singh Bhai Chaudhary and former Union State Home Minister Sri Yogendra Bhai Makwana. The sole reason for organizing the said conference was to collect under one roof all Gujaratis settled at a distance of thousands of miles away from their motherland in different countries in the world, who were professionals like doctors, lawyers, engineers, chartered accountants, academicians, and politicians, holding elected posts and keenly interested in their roots in the state, with a keen desire for a live contact with the state and its culture. It was in the said first conference when Vishwa Gujarat Samaj came to be established. Pertinently, late Sri Krishnakant was elected as the president of the said Vishwa Gujarati Samaj in the month of January 1994, whereafter he was continuously elected as such for 5 times, with the result he had held the said post for long 26 years. During the tenure of his leadership, the activities of Vishwa Gujarati Samaj were expanded in many ways by organizing 4 Vishwa Gujarat Samaj conferences at different places in the state, by publishing a magazine called Vishwa Melo in capacity of the editor, by connecting all Gujaratis world over, by organizing medical camps at various places in the state for rendering free medical aid to needy persons, by providing humanitarian services to 2001 Kutch earthquake affected people with the help of donations, relief materials, opening temporary hospitals, bringing medical personnel from abroad to serve injured quake affected people, constructing houses at Bhuj, rehabilitating the entire village of Majot in Jodia Taluka near Kutch by constructing dwelling houses, primary schools, etc. Even during the later years of 2002 and 2003, when the state had faced severe drought, Vishwa Gujarati Samaj, under the leadership of late SHRI VAKHARIA, had undertaken various activities of constructing embankments, bandharas, deepening of water bodies, and so on. Late SHRI VAKHARIA also associated with many non-governmental organizations. He was a founder trustee of Divya Jyot Ayurvedic Research Foundation, which runs an Ayurvedic hospital serving thousands of Daronaraya. He was also the president of Baksara Sarvangi Vikas Trust, which serves his native town Baksara and surrounding rural areas, where SHRI VAKHARIA has donated for more than 40 lakhs to different NGOs serving in the state areas. Late SHRI VAKHARIA had held various prestigious positions in Gujarat Housing Board, Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation, National Textile Corporation, Legal Aid and Advisory Board, and High Power Committee on the Cooperative Laws appointed by the state government. He was also a recipient of various prestigious awards like Son of Soil Award by Intellectual Society of India, Glory of Gujarat Award by Indian Council of Social Welfare, and was conferred membership of Wilshire Bar Association, Los Angeles. I had several opportunities and occasions to appear along with late SHRI VAKHARIA, as well as opposing him in many matters. According to me, he was a man of many dimensions: an eminent lawyer, a social activist, a modest philanthropist, a man with great warmth and always with a gentle smile on the face. Late SHRI VAKHARIA will always be remembered by all of us as a fine human being. After having lived a fulfilled life spread over a span of more than 9 decades, this nonagenarian passed away at the age of 92 years on 22nd January 2023, survived by his wife, Srimati Leelaben, son, Mehul Bhai, a practicing lawyer of this honorable court, along with his wife, Julie Ben, a non-litigation lawyer, 2 daughters, Srimati Avniben Mehta and Srimati Binduben Thakkar, who are also advocates and settled with their families in Ahmedabad. Late Shri K.C. Patel, and fondly called as K.C. Kaka, was born on 2nd November 1928 in his native at Gondal in Saurashtra. As was referred to, his father, late Shri C.B. Patel, was a minister for education in Gondal state for a very long time and had compiled Bhagavad Gomandal, an encyclopedia in Gujarati language. After finishing initial schooling in Gondal, late Shri Patel shifted to Ahmedabad, where he completed his graduation in commerce stream in the year 1950, followed by a degree in law in the year 1952. Thereafter, late Shri Patel, being keenly interested in practicing law, and more particularly on taxation side, joined the office of late Honorable Mr. Justice B.K. Mehta, a distinguished former Honorable Judge of this Honorable Court and a leading tax practitioner in the state prior to his Lordship's elevation to the bench. In a short span, late Shri Patel became an authority in taxation, being much sought after. Along with practicing on taxation side, late Shri K.C. Patel had also worked as a special government pleader for Saurashtra region before Revenue Tribunal at Rajkot, as well as practiced in the civil court at Rajkot for a period from 1952 to 1967. This apart, he was also regularly appearing in the erstwhile High Court of Saurashtra and the Circuit Bench of Bombay High Court at Rajkot up to 1960. In the year 1968, late Shri Patel shifted to Ahmedabad and started practicing exclusively on taxation side before the income tax authorities, income tax appellate tribunals, this Honorable Court, and the Honorable Supreme Court of India. If one refers to law journals of taxation of previous years, one would invariably find the name of late Shri K.C. Patel as a counsel appearing for the SSCs in plethora of landmark judgments. Late Shri K.C. Patel and his contemporary, late Shri J.P. Shah, were holding the field of taxation in the state as very respectful and authoritative counsel all throughout their career till their passing away. An opinion or advice in taxation matter from both this taxation counsel was always considered to be a gospel truth, and that was how both were being much sought after by the tax-paying individuals, corporations, companies, and other entities at large. Late Shri Patel was responsible to provide his 3 finest colleagues as the former honorable judges of this honorable court. They are Honorable Mr. Justice D.A. Mehta, former judge of this honorable court who was associated with late Shri K.C. Patel for about 26 years. Honorable Mr. Justice K. Puch, former judge of this honorable court who was associated with late Shri K.C. Patel for about 5 years. And Honorable Mr. Justice Bhargav B.D. Karia, who was also associated with Shri K.T. Patel and is presently adorning the seat of this honorable court. The other day, I happened to meet Honorable Mr. Justice D.A. Mehta in a marriage reception where I tried to find out about the experience of his junior days in the chambers of late Shri K.C. Patel. Justice Mehta recalled and made a mention about two incidents in particular, which depict the character of late Shri K.C. Patel, not only as a lawyer, but also as a normal human being. The first incident is about the professional reputation late Shri K.C. Patel in the courts. Once he was arguing the hotly contested matter of income tax before the bench of Honorable Mr. Justice M.P. Thakkar and Honorable Mr. Justice R.C. Makar. And two contradictory information about the income of a partnership firm came in record. One by the Income Tax Department, another by late Shri K.C. Patel. And the Honorable Court recorded that they would go by the statement of late Shri K.C. Patel rather than the Income Tax Department and his standing counsel. This shows the enormous respect and the trust commanded by late Shri K.C. Patel before the Honorable Court. In the second incident, once Justice Mehta, who had shifted from Rajkot and was staying alone as a paying guest in Ahmedabad to practice in the chambers of late Shri K.C. Patel, had fallen sick and could not attend the office at the court. It was only in the evening that late Shri K.C. Patel realized that his junior, Mr. Mehta, had not turned up, and there was also no message from his end. Those were the days when mobile phones were not available, and Justice Mehta had no landline telephone connection. After finishing the office, late Shri K.C. Patel straight away drove to the paying guest residence and found Justice Mehta lying with high fever. He immediately called his family doctor friend to attend Justice Mehta, and thereafter went to his residence and came back within an hour along with his wife Sallaben with a tiffin of khichdi and badri rotis, and waited till Justice Mehta finished his dinner and took medicines. Justice Mehta told me that he was simply moved to come across such a human gesture from a senior advocate like late Shri K.C. Patel. What an unassuming and self-made personality late Shri K.C. Patel was, with a rare combination of erudition, compassion, and hard work. Of course, these words are hardly enough to portray his legal qualities and legal acumen. After having lived a fulfilled life, spread over a span of more than 9 decades, this nonagenarian also passed away at the age of 93 years on 28th October 2022, survived by his wife Srimati Sallaben and 2 sons, elder son Shri Rajul K. Patel, who is senior advocate practicing in this honorable court, and the younger son Shri Mehul K. Patel, who is also practicing lawyer on taxation side, both of whom have settled with their families at Ahmedabad, with 3rd generation of late Shri K.C. Patel, which is also practicing in legal fields as lawyers. There is no alchemy in words that can lessen the grief and sorrow of the relatives of both these stalwarts of the bar, late Shri K.G. VAKHARIA and late Shri K.C. Patel. But I can assure them that we share their sorrow in some measure, for in the greatness of the humanity, they belong to us all. When the Almighty in a way once cast a man in that heroic mold, they say that he breaks the mold. I can only say these were the men when comes other such. There can be little doubt that among the legal giants produced by the bar of this honorable court in all its history, the names of late Shri K.G. VAKHARIA and late Shri K.C. Patel will rank high. Indeed, in the annals of this honorable court, the names of both these stalwarts would go down as one of its brightest and most magnificent cornerstones. May Almighty confer fortitude and sustenance on the members of both the bereaved families to bear this loss. May both the departed souls rest in peace.
My lords, I, on behalf of the Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, share the feelings expressed by my lords the Chief Justice and the learned Advocate General on the sad demise of a stalwart and a legend of our bar, late Shri KRISHNAKANT VAKHARIA, whom we all address with respect as VAKHARIA Sahib. I would say that he was a doyen of the bar. On his demise, our bar has become poorer to an extent which cannot be described, and it would not be possible to fill in the void created by his absence, even though he had stopped attending court since last 4 to 5 years. VAKHARIA Sahib was born in a middle-class family, but grew up in life by his hard work and dedication in whatever he did. VAKHARIA Sahib had a great personality and was commanding excellent reputation in Gujarat for his contribution in the field of politics, law, and social life. He was known for his in-depth knowledge of law, thorough preparation of facts, fearless and yet respectful conduct in court proceedings, and someone who would be looked up to with awe and respect by everyone. Life is an opportunity to be an example to others. By setting exemplary standards, he followed this to the core. He shifted to Ahmedabad after 1960 and started practice in the High Court of Gujarat. Within short period, he developed lucrative practice and shined out as a young advocate. Vakharia Sahib had acquired reputation as an eminent lawyer and handled many important cases involving interpretation of constitution and jurisprudence. He was elected member of the Bar Council of India for 2 terms covering period of 10 years. In the Bar Council of India, he was elected as managing trustee of Bar Council of India Trust. The first World Gujarati Conference was organized at Ahmedabad by Sri Vakharia, wherein Vishwa Gujarati Samaj was established. Vakharia Sahib was elected as president in January 1994. During his tenure, activities of Vishwa Gujarati Samaj were expanded in many ways. Vakharia Sahib was a great philanthropist. Apart from the fact that he was an eminent lawyer, he was highly service-minded and dedicated himself in the service of the people at large. Vakharia Sahib was a strong believer in Ayurvedic medicines. He was a founder trustee of Divya Jyot Ayurvedic Research Foundation, which runs Ayurvedic hospital serving thousands of persons. Sri Vakharia was associated with many non-governmental organizations. He was president of Bagasra Sarvangi Vikas Trust, which served his native town Bagasra and surrounding rural areas. An eye hospital was also being run by him to serve the poor and needy free of cost with all latest eye-related treatments. He would also donate in the kidney hospital and pediatric cancer ward at the civil hospital in Ahmedabad. He used to adopt ailing children for free treatments. He was funding for education at the Blind Girls School in Ahmedabad. Vakharia Sahib had great love for sports. He was also instrumental in reviving the Football Association of Gujarat and the Basketball Association of Gujarat, for which he donated huge sums of amount. Sri Vakharia was honored by Gujarat Gaurav Award as well as by Son of Soil Award by Government of Gujarat. A man is recognized in the society for the legacy that he leaves behind. And for a lawyer, the legacy would be in the form of young lawyers that he would have trained for excellence in the profession. Judging by this yardstick, Vakharia Sahib comes out with flying colors. Having trained a large number of juniors, 5 of his juniors who have adorned the bench of this High Court, he was a guru in real sense, a mentor to many juniors who are now leading lawyers and practicing in this court. Vakharia Sahib of late had been leading a retired life due to his ill health. I recollect meeting him last at the felicitation function hosted in his honor by Sri Tushar Mehta, Solicitor General of India, where Vakharia Sahib was honored by His Excellency the Governor of Gujarat. His life shall be an inspiration to all of us. Vakharia Sahib had completed more than 60 years in practice, and that is a milestone a very few can achieve. He passed away on 22nd January 2023. On his passing away, we have lost an eminent lawyer and above all, a great human being. It is indeed a true loss to the institution. Late Shri KRISHNACHANDRA CHANDULAL PATEL belonged to Gondal in Saurashtra. He was popularly known as Kesi Bhai amongst his friends in the legal fraternity. Shri Patel started his career from Bhavnagar and thereafter shifted to Rajkot. Shri Patel practiced in High Court of Saurashtra and High Court of Bombay, and then after 1960, practiced in the High Court of Gujarat. He shifted his practice of revenue laws to tax laws in the 1960s. The period from 70s to 90s were the golden period of tax litigation, during which Shri Patel led at the front and helped in developing laws for the High Court of Gujarat. The tax reports and tax journals from 1960s had his mark and were full of judgments and orders where he had appeared. A journey of more than 50 years where he had been instrumental in getting laws laid down on every topic under the direct tax laws. Shri Patel was a member of the managing committee of the IT-80 Bar Association throughout his professional career and was its president during 1989 and 1990. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to meet this great man. But what I gather from people who have known him over the years and from those who have been close to him, they recollect that Sri Patel was a very friendly and jovial person. He was very kind and supportive to junior members of the bar. He would share a number of anecdotes and jokes in the corridors of court and tribunal and create a light atmosphere for the colleagues around him. I am further informed that he had great command over the law and understanding of facts. He had ready answer to every query of the bench, and the law was on the tip of his tongue. The efforts that he would put in to prepare every matter would be reflected in the notes he prepared. Those were not the times when case laws could be found out easily by looking up legal softwares, but he would not require any such software because he was a living encyclopedia who knew every judgment in his field. I quote a senior advocate who told me that passing away of Shri Kaji, Shri J.P. Shah, and now Shri K.C. Patel in a short span of 3 years, an era commanded by the stalwarts in the field of taxation has come to an end. Shri Patel had trained a large number of junior advocates, 3 of whom have adorned the bench of this honorable court. His legacy is carried forward by his son Shri Rajul Patel, who is a designated senior in our High Court, and Shri Mehul Patel, who practices before the Income Tax Tribunal. His grandsons are also now practicing lawyers. Shri K.C. Patel completed 68 years in legal practice. On his passing away, we have lost an eminent lawyer and above a great human being. I, on behalf of the Gujarat High Court Advocate Association, express my heartfelt condolences to the members of the bereaved family of Shri VAKHARIA Sahib and Shri K.C. Patel. May the Almighty give them strength to bear the great loss and overcome the grief. May the departed souls rest in eternal peace. Om Shanti.
As a mark of respect to the departed souls, 2 minutes silence be observed. The Registrar General may convey the message of condolences to the members of the bereaved family. As a mark of respect to the departed souls, the proceedings of the court would stand suspended for the rest of the day.